4th grade. It is so nice to see you. Hi, everybody. It's Mrs. Porter, and it is so great to be back. I cannot wait to make some music with you guys, and we have some really cool and special stuff planned for us in this first grading period while we are going to be learning virtually. So today we're just doing a few quick kind of rules and learning about our music kits, and if we have time, we're going to dive into a little bit of our recorder already. All right. So first things first, I want to make sure that we get a little bit of singing going. So I want everyone to go woo, woo, woo. Oh, come on. I know that you guys know how to do this because we've been doing it since kindergarten. Let's try it one more time. Go woo. Yes, just like that. And now, you might remember this from 3rd grade or 2nd grade, but we're going to do a little bit of our hellos. So I'm going to sing first, and when I point to you guys, you're going to sing Hello, Mrs. Porter in the exact way that I sang Hello, Boys and Girls. All right, me first. Mrs. Porter. Hello, boys and girls. Your turn. Hello, Mrs. Porter. Yeah, try it one more time, only I'm not going to sing with you. Me first. Hello, boys and girls. Exactly. So, a few things today. I do want to let you know that when we are going to be working together, we need to have our microphones turned off. I know that seems so incredibly weird. It seems so weird that in a music class, I can't hear you. But the problem is, or rather what I want to say is, the reason that I want them to be turned off is so that I can see what you're doing, and then I can see everyone that way. If we all have our microphones turned on at the same time, I can't hear everyone, and everyone's kind of doing what I'm going to be asking at their own speed or at their own time, and so it would not line up, and it would sound just kind of messy and kind of like glitchy. Okay, so we want to keep our microphones off unless I call on you, okay? Unless I call on you. If I call on you, if you raise your hand and I call on you for a question, or if you have a question, then you can turn your mic on. You can ask or answer the question, and then after we're done, we're going to make sure we turn those microphones back off. Again, it's not because I don't want to hear you, but it's so that I can see what you guys are doing. I can make sure that everyone's participating, and there will be a few times that I let everyone turn their microphones on, but I'll tell you that it's going to sound very, very strange because we have a lot of 4th graders that are going to be working with us. So for right now, in music, our microphones are going to stay off unless Mrs. Porter says otherwise. Capiche? Give me a thumbs up if we got it. Awesome. Okay. So, first things first, I want to make sure that we kind of take a look at our music kits. Everybody should have gotten one when they came to get their Chromebook. And so I want to go through what is in each of your kits. So the first thing is first, I want you to take out your egg shaker. All right, go ahead and take out your egg shaker. Everyone should be black like this. All right, it should look just like this. And when you get it out, hold it right up like this. All right. Now, I want you to shake this egg shaker and make it as loud as you can. Let us hear it. And super quiet. And loud. And quiet. I'm going to put mine down, and I'm going to say loud and quiet. And when I put my freeze hands up, I want you to freeze. Ready? Loud! Oh, you can go louder than that. Loud, loud, loud! Freeze! Quiet. Pretend like there's a baby sleeping and you don't want to wake it. Freeze! One more time. So quiet. Breathe. And last time, so loud, 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 yes, and freeze. Excellent. Go ahead, you can put that egg shaker away. The next part of your kit is going to look like this. They look like pool noodles. Take out those pool noodles. They're cut in half, kind of like hot dogs. Can't you see it looks like a hot dog in a bun? All right, we have our 2 pool noodles, and they have lots of different colors, all right? So some people have blue, some people have purple, some people have red. They're all different, and that's okay. These pool noodles are gonna act as our scrapers. So when I talk about a scraper, I'm referring to these noodles. Now watch, when I play them together, they do sound like a sand block. Yeah. Go ahead and do a few scrapes with me. Yeah. Excellent. I'm going to do a few rhythm patterns, and I just want you guys to echo them with me on our scrapers. Here we go. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Ti, 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 ta. Ti, ti, ta, ta, ta. Ti, 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 ta. Yeah. Ta-ah, ta-ah. Excellent. You can go ahead and put your scrapers away for right now. Next. Who remembers what these are called? Who remembers? Rhythm sticks. You got it. These are our rhythm sticks. And if you remember, we always put them on our shoulders. And what do we call this position? Do you remember? Think back to 3rd grade. Ready position. That is right. We call this ready position. So if we are not playing, but we're using our rhythm sticks, we want to keep them right here. It shows Mrs. Porter that we are ready and that we cannot wait to play. All right. But if everyone's playing them, it makes it really hard to hear. So we want to keep them in ready position until we're ready to play. Again, I'm going to just do a few little patterns, little rhythm patterns, and you guys are going to clap or tap them back to me. Here we go. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta. Ti, 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 ta-ah. Ta-ah, ta-ah. Ti, 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 tiki, tiki, ta. Oh, new one, huh? Listen, listen. Tiki, 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 ta. Tiki, 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 ta. Yep. Tiki, tiki. Tiki, 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 ta. You got it. Go ahead and put those down. The next thing that we have is our scarf. All right, our scarves can be used to go high, to show low, to show the side, to show the other side, to show movement or texture. In fact, I would love everybody to show me how they can make it bounce. Bounce, 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 bouncy, bounce, 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 bouncy, bounce, bounce. Can you throw it up in the air and catch it in the other hand? Bounce, 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 bouncy, bounce, bounce, switch. Bounce, 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 bouncy, bounce, bounce, switch. Bounce, 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 bouncy, bounce. One more time. Bounce, 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 bouncy, bounce, bounce. Excellent. Please take your scarf and I want you to, above your head, show me as fast as you can go. As fast as you can. 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 Yes. And kind of down low. Show me as slow as you can. I'll have it a little higher so you can see it, but kind of slow. Like slow motion. And there are so many different ways to move it. You can use 2 hands, 1 hand. Excellent. For right now, let's put our scarves back. All right. Next, please pull out your music staff paper. The first few weeks that we're going to be working, we need to learn how to read our music staff. All right. So you're going to see that I have things kind of color-coded for us. We are going to start by learning some of those blue dots or those blue lines. Now, if I go really close, I know you have yours up by you too. My blue dots, are those blue dots taking up spaces or are they sitting on top of a line? Yes, they are sitting on top of a line, like the line cuts right through the center of those blue notes. If a line is cutting straight through the center, just like my blue dots over here, all right, just like my blue dots, that means that that note is called a lined note. okay? And for our lined notes, we have a little phrase that we use. It's called every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine. The notes on the lines read, every good boy does fine. Right? E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. These are the notes on the lines of the treble clef. So we want to make sure that we are going to learn the E, G, B, D, F of our lines on the treble clef. We'll worry about the red notes and some of these green notes later, but for right now, we're really looking at those blue ones. All right, so this side of our paper, excuse me, this side of our paper is showing us what those notes are called. The other side of our paper is blank, and we are going to be using this side for when I'm asking you to show me where different lines are. So if I said, what is the second line right here? What would it be called? Well, I would think every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine. Let me do that again so you can see a little bit better. Every good boy does fine. What is that middle line or that second line from the bottom? Well, it would be every good. So it's the word good, and good starts with the letter G. Exactly. So G is going to be what we would call that second line. So we're going to be using this side to kind of learn and kind of self-check if we're learning what those lines are called and eventually what those spaces are called. So we have our staff paper. And now, the moment that you guys have been waiting for, you can put that staff paper back and take out your recorder. Before you take it out of the package, wait. Please make sure that you write your name somewhere on it in permanent marker so that when we come back to school, if we get to use these when we come back, you know whose is what, all right? So we know whose is whose. When you open the recorder, do not take it out yet. I want you to take out this long stick thingy, all right? This long stick thingy. This is called a cleaning rod, all right? Do you guys see how there's like this little hole in it at the top? All right, you see the little hole? That little hole is for you to put a very tiny piece of tissue in. Do not put even a half of a tissue. Don't even put a quarter of a tissue. You can put a tissue about as big as Mrs. Porter's thumb, just this part of my thumb, until my knuckle. All right, itty bitty. And what you would do with it is that you stick it through this hole, so part of it's hanging out on both sides, and you will actually put it up the bottom of your recorder, and you can twist a little bit, and it's going to clean out all of the spit in your recorder. Now, sometimes when you clean it, if you put too much, it's going to get stuck. So if you are a little nervous, you're like, I don't know if I want to use this, I'm worried that I might get paper towel or tissue stuck up there, I don't always use the cleaning wand. What I do is I use just soapy water, like dish soap that you would use for your dishes, and I just put it in some warm water, and then I put this in it, and I just kind of clean it, and I run it through, and that will clean it just as well. So you don't have to use the cleaning wand. You can just put it in soapy water, and that works just as good, all right? So now I want everyone to take out their recorder. I know it's so exciting, so exciting. So first thing is first. I want everybody to hold their left hand up. Now my left hand's gonna look different on screen, I think, than your left hand. So make sure that it's your left hand. Look at it. Does it make an L? Mine does. All right. Yes, this is my left hand. The weird thing about recorder, and maybe some of you are like, score, is that we use our recorders with our left hand. We don't play it very much with our right. So I want you to hold your recorder in your left hand, which again, might look a little different than what I'm doing on screen, okay? So we hold our recorders in our left hand all the time. Our right hands can help by holding at the bottom, but notice that I'm not holding where these holes are, because if my fingers were to cover these holes like that, then I'm gonna be making a different sound because I'm covering part of the instrument. So if you wanna use your right hand to just kind of hold the recorder, that's totally fine, but you want to make sure that you hold it down at the very end, okay? So first things first, I want you to notice that there is a hole on the back. There's a hole on the back of the recorder, and there are lots of holes on the front. We never want to cover this one. This is where the air comes out that helps us produce sound, okay? Look. It doesn't really make sound if that's covered. All right. And then we want to learn how to cover our holes in the front and that hole in the back. So I'm going to get really close to the microphone here for a second because I want to show you guys if I have a music note, and do you see how like I have a little bit of space there and you can still see the hole on the top? If I do that, it's not going to sound right. Hear how weird that sounds? Okay? But if I have it totally covered, if I take my finger and that patty part, not just my fingernail, I do not want my fingernail covering it because see, it leaves a big gap. All right? I want my whole finger to cover that note. If I cover that and my back hole with the thumb, we can go ahead and play like this. Yeah. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to take your first finger only and cover that front hole, and I want you to take your thumb and cover the hole that's in the back, totally and completely, and I want you to try to blow with me. Ready? Here we go. Now, if you heard anything like this, that means that you probably have a hole that is not totally covered, all right? And even if you think that you do, even if you look down and you say, but Mrs. Porter, I have them covered. Sometimes if you look down at your recorder and then you bring it back up like this, our fingers sometimes move. So you want to try to keep it up like this and look down like this so that you don't have to move your recorder, okay? The second thing is that sometimes you're going to hear a sound like this. Ooh. And the reason you're going to hear that sound is because you are blowing way too hard into this little instrument. Think of playing the recorder like blowing on hot soup. If you have a big bowl of hot soup and you take a spoon and you're getting ready to eat it, would you eat it right away? No, you'd blow on it because it's too hot. But if I blew on it like, what's going to happen? Yeah, the sound is going to splatter all over the place. It's going to go all over because the soup would explode, right? If I had a spoon and I went, all the soup would fall off the spoon because you blew too hard. But if you have really hot soup and you have it in a spoon and you go, and you just blow lightly, that soup is going to cool, it's going to stay on the spoon, and you're going to get to eat it, and it's going to be great. So when you're blowing into your recorder, you don't want to blow hard. You want to blow so gently, just like blowing on a spoonful of soup. Exactly. The other sound I want you to learn today is going to be our first note, and that's going to be a G. All right, G is in girl or good. Every good void is fine. That is the second line on our music staff. Now, to make a G on our recorder, your job is going to be to put your fingers over the first 3 holes. Notice I am not doing this. My fingers are not curving like a claw. All right, they are not. My fingers are almost, they're kind of flat, really. All right. I am making sure that the pads of my fingers, this part of my finger, not the tip, but the pad, the middle part, is going over top of the first 3 holes. And my thumb hole is also being covered. So I have 3 holes in the front that are covered and 1 in the back of the recorder that's covered. When you think you have all of those holes totally covered and that you can blow as lightly as you would if you were blowing on hot soup, you can go ahead and try to play. Yeah, we're getting there, okay? Some of you might have sounded like this. If you heard some squeakies like that, but you felt like you didn't blow very hard, that means that one of your fingers, I don't know which one, but one of your fingers, or maybe more than one of your fingers, is not covering a hole. Even if you have it just, do you see it? Like you can see just a little bit right there? Listen, it makes the whole thing sound really high-pitched and squeaky. That's what we want, okay? All right, so we're going to learn that G, and what I want you guys to do is for next time, practice trying to get that G to sound like this, with your fingers covering those holes and without us blowing too hard. All right. Next time we have music, we're going to start learning how to read the music along with some of our notes. I'll also be passing out some music. I'll be putting it online for us to look at. All right. But we want to make sure that we are playing our very, very best. All right. So I have one more thing I want you to do before we go, and that is I'm going to want you to go into your Google Classroom for music. All right. And under our classwork or coursework tab, there is going to be, under our weekly assignments, there is a question for you to fill out. And all it is I want you to tell me, what do you think we need to learn or do in order to play the recorder the very best way possible? What skills do you think that we need to have? What do you think we need to work on in order to make this work the very best that we can? There really is not a wrong answer here, because there are so many different things that we can work on to make sure that playing recorder happens the best way possible for us, that I just want to know what you think we need to work on in the next few weeks in order for us to play something like this. Does anyone know that song? It is Star Wars. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. And again, I cannot wait for us to get to make some music together. And I will see you guys in a few weeks. Practice that G, 1, 2, 3, and our thumb hole in the back. And I will see you in 2 weeks, because next Monday is Labor Day and we don't have school. All right, have a great day, guys, and I will see you sooner than later. Take care. Bye.